Tonight, the news doesn't whisper. It knocks things over, drifts silently past fairy docks, rewrites human history, and asks a very uncomfortable question. How much is too much? This week, a ghost ship sails through a Washington harbor. A fossil once thought to be a known human ancestor may belong to an entirely different branch of humanity. A former world leader claims aliens abducted him and invented chess, and a self proclaimed shaman allegedly used fears, curses, and spiritual manipulation to steal millions. These aren't legends. They're not campfire tales. They're ripped from the headlines around the world, from the unexplained to the unbelievable, from ancient mysteries to modern madness. This is the week where reality once again shrugged and said, "Good luck explaining all this." I'm Dave Schrader, and welcome to the Paranormal 60 News. Thank you all for joining us here this evening, spending a little bit of your time with us. It is exciting to see you and have you back with us. And it's talking about excited and having you back with us, ladies and gentlemen, the paranormal detective himself, Gregory H., the Paranormal Detective Lawson. Welcome back to the show, Greg.
Hey, old buddy. How's it going, man?
It's going really well. It's been a busy couple of days in my world, and I don't even have time to chat about all the stuff that's going on. But it's been hectic and a lot of fun. Ooh. And I'm sure sometime in the near future we'll cover more about that. Ladies and gentlemen, also joining us on the line,
somebody else
back from his trip. Yeah, it is the one and only Chachi. What are you drinking tonight, Chach?
I'm just laying off the hard stuff tonight, going just on a little beer.
A little bit. What kind of beer are we drinking?
We're doing a little. What is this stuff here? This is Blue Moon.
I don't even read the label. It's just beer.
Let's not waste time with that.
I guess so. Greg, what are you drinking?
You know, I'm doing a little Michelob Ultra here in a Gypsy Jules little thing.
Koozie? Little can koozie?
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we've got a lot to cover tonight, gentlemen. We've got a lot to discuss. I'm excited about tonight's news, and it looks like there's a lot of weird things going on all around the world. What is that?
Hey, Dave.
What's that?
I got some breaking news, Dave.
You do? What's going on, Chachi?
I have breaking news. It has been a terribly quiet week in the paranormal industry. But something's just come across my ticker. I don't know if you're even going to have any pictures for this, so I might just have to read the story I'm getting as we get it live.
Okay, go for it.
It's literally coming in. It is typing on my screen. So if I slow down, it's not the alcohol, it's the words on the screen. Let me be clear.
Maybe a little bit of the alcohol.
Weird.
Get this.
Okay.
In a move that has surprised absolutely no one who understands how deep his roots in the paranormal run.
Roots.
Legendary, and I use that word very, very loosely, radio host, television personality, author, humanitarian, charity supporter, child supporter, prayer warrior, healer, world traveling and speaker, an all-around darn nice guy, what I go and call the paranormal icon, Dave Schrader, has officially purchased the historic and famously haunted Palmer House Hotel, Restaurant, and Pub in Sauk Center, Minnesota. There is a photograph of said parcel.
Look at that thing.
Now, guys.
Yes.
You're probably wondering, which Dave Schrader are we talking about? We're talking about the one on the screen with us tonight. That Dave Schrader. Okay? Now, you probably don't know a lot about him, but let me give you a little history.
Okay.
He's been the longtime host of the Paranormal 60 and Paranormal 360 radio shows and podcasts. Wow. He's been the star of multiple TV series, Paranormal Challenge, The Holzer Files, Ghost of Devil's Perch, and Paranormal Mysteries. And of course, when he's not doing that, he's guest starring on other shows, Paranormal State, Ghost Adventures Screening Room, Ghost Adventures Aftershocks, Ghost Adventures Live, and of course, my favorite of all those, Haunted Hospitals, and has now added historic haunted hotel owner to a resume that was already bordering on legendary. So I had an opportunity to speak to Mr. Schrader earlier today, and according to him, the purchase wasn't about ownership or reinvention. It was about preservation.
That's true. Self-preservation.
Now, the Palmer House, which was built right after Dave was born about 124 years ago,
Yes.
is listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
Wow.
It has long been considered one of Minnesota's most haunted locations.
Incredible.
Doing the math, 124 years, it was built in 1901 on the site of Sauk Center's first hotel. And it has remained a functioning hotel, restaurant, and my favorite of the three, pub, for over a century. And it's under new ownership. That will not change.
Wow.
The Palmer House will continue operating exactly as it always has, welcoming overnight guests, diners, and locals, with the addition of carefully curated paranormal tours, live events, my favorite, music performances, metaphysical gatherings, lectures, and historical and paranormal research opportunities. In other words, the building is staying alive. Now, the Palmer House already carries a very deep paranormal reputation, with decades of reports involving unexplained footsteps, voices, shadow figures, lights turning on and off, the sound of children playing in empty hallways. The list goes on and on. It has been investigated by numerous paranormal teams and featured across television and media, making it a cornerstone location in Midwestern paranormal lore. Now, Schrader has been clear that this acquisition is not about sensationalism
Obviously.
or the hotel into a gimmick. That's not the goal. The goal instead is to protect the integrity of the location, honoring its history, respecting its stories, and allowing serious paranormal research and community engagement to continue in a responsible way. Now, for someone who spent more than 2 decades telling the stories of haunted places around the world, the move feels less like a business decision and more like a natural next chapter for him. Or, as some might say, if anyone was going to end up owning one of Minnesota's most haunted hotels, it was probably always going to be the legend himself, that is Dave Schrader.
Him himself, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. More details on upcoming events, tours, and investigations at the Palmer House are expected to be announced soon. My guess is probably on this show. So keep tuning in. Of course, look at the Palmer House Facebook page and their website, thepalmerhousehotel.com. And for me, I would just like to add one more thing to this before the show gets started, if you don't mind, Dave.
Please.
For those of you playing the home game that starts immediately,
Okay.
I want you to take a drink every time Dave mentions owning a haunted hotel.
I don't think people's livers are going to survive that, Chachi.
Listen, we are ready. Okay. This is a good hour plus show.
Agreed. And there's going to be a lot of kidney damage. And thank you. That very, very nicely written and crafted and well spoken. Thank you for sharing all that information. I am excited. We signed on Monday. We did a live broadcast from the Palmer House on Monday with former owner Kelly Freeze, and we talked a little bit about everything. Had just a very nice night with the audience and talking about what's going on. And this Friday, as a matter of fact, we've got a live band that's going to be playing at the Palmer House. So we invite you to come on in. And 6040 is the name of the band. They play a lot of cool rock and roll music. We're going to be having drinks. The bar's open, the restaurant's open, the hotel's open. If you want to come on out and spend the weekend this weekend, we've got some great deals. Matter of fact, if you book Friday and Saturday, I'll give you Thursday night free.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just the kind of guy I am. That's the kind of hairpin
And
fella.
how can you do that, Dave? Because
I'm the owner. I'm the owner. of the
drink,
house.
everyone. As I said,
Oh, hey.
as I said, he was going to
Watch
bring it
out.
up
Here
a
we
couple
go.
times.
I feel like I was just tricked into that deal.
Ooh.
All right. Well, that's a hell of a story to come at the beginning of the show with. I don't know, Greg, are you prepared to even try to come up with a story that could beat that?
You know, Dave, I do a lot of research and no, I'm not.
That's great. Did you get the stories that I sent you then for the night?
Oh yeah. Hey, you want to go there?
That'd be great if we
That
could
sounds
try.
great. That sounds great. You know, Dave, it's actually time, I think, for a new segment called Crime Watch. And this first new segment called Crime Watch is called Suckered by Supernatural Claims.
Okay.
Yeah. Authorities in Europe are warning the public about a case that blurs the line between belief, fear, and outright fraud A self-proclaimed shaman is now wanted by police after allegedly scamming victims out of more than, you heard it, $11 million.
What?
Yeah, by convincing them that their jewelry was cursed and required spiritual exorcism. That's right. According to investigators, the suspect, a 44-year-old woman, targeted mostly wealthy women in Germany and Austria, approaching them in public places and claiming she could see dark energy attached to their jewelry. Conveniently, she alleged that, oh, Jesus Christ.
So words is hard, folks. Have a sip. Yeah.
She
right.
allegedly warned them that unless the items were cleansed through costly rituals,
Costly. Wow.
their
So
families would suffer illness, tragedy, or death.
Whew.
Police say fear was the real weapon. Victims were reportedly told their loved ones were in immediate danger, that spirits had attached themselves to personal belongings, and that only the shaman's intervention could stop what was coming. In several cases, victims handed over jewelry, cash, and valuables, sometimes totaling in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Ooh-wee.
Believing the items needed to be cleansed or temporarily removed to break the curse. Authorities say the jewelry was never returned. The alleged scam is believed to have gone on for nearly a decade, with at least 19 confirmed victims. In one especially disturbing case cited by investigators, a woman battling cancer reportedly paid tens of thousands of dollars after being told spiritual forces were preventing her recovery.
Oh.
Yeah. During a raid on the home connected with the suspect and her family, police say they discovered gold bars, luxury jewelry, large sums of cash in multiple currencies, and more than a dozen vehicles, all believed to be connected to the scheme. Several family members have been arrested, but the accused shaman herself remains on the lam. Officials stress that this case is not only about legitimate spiritual, cultural practices, it's about manipulation, coercion, and exploiting fear for profit. Authorities are urging anyone approached with claims of curses, required rituals, or demands for money tied to spiritual threats to contact law enforcement immediately. Because once fear becomes currency, the cost can be everything. Back to you, Dave.
I like that. You've got a Crime Watch Supernatural edition from the paranormal detective himself.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I've got to ask you, all right, we've kind of talked about this in the past, but it's at what point do you just have to kind of say, well, if you're just that dumb, maybe you don't deserve to have those gold bars, jewelry, cash, and cars.
Yeah.
Now somebody that's in a health condition,
Yeah.
maybe I understand you're grasping at straws. You want to feel better, but I don't know. You know, if this car is cursed, you need to send it to me, and we'll cleanse it, and and then you never get the stuff back. So over a period of a decade, 19 people have come forward. How many, Greg, in your estimation as law enforcement? How many are there that are just too embarrassed to admit that they were fleeced?
It's typically 3 times that number. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So another
and that's the thing is a lot of these what I like to call charlatans. Yeah, it's a word. They prey on elderly people or people with diminished capacity for making good decisions, that sort of stuff.
Like Chachi.
And and he may and so that becomes truly fraud. But there's some place along the line where there's like at least in the United States, I don't know about Germany or Austria, but at least in the United States, you have freedom of religion, freedom of belief, First Amendment rights. And if somebody comes up to you and, I mean, how can you prove that person doesn't actually believe that there's darkness on your jewelry and they're going to cleanse it? You're going to have to come up with some sort of evidence that this person is truly defrauding people and doesn't actually believe this. Otherwise your money's gone, dude.
Yeah, that is tough. I didn't think of that. I mean, I guess if there's no statute, well, over in Europe though, I think there's a lot. It's a lot different because I think mediums and shamans and psychics and people like that, they have to advertise for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe if they're broadly advertising that, you are just kind of taking your future into your own hands and laying yourself bare.
The way that a lot of people not a lot of people, there's not very many people that get caught at this, but they'll get caught by sending an email, can you believe this person? I told them that their jewelry was haunted and they gave it to me. And, you catch an email or somebody is a witness to them saying this, something that would show that this was an actual intentional deception. So other than that, if I sit here and believe that the Palmer Hotel is haunted and cursed, and you need to pay me $20,000, or at least the owner does. Anybody? Yeah, the actual owner. That would be.
That's me. I'm the owner of the.
There you go.
Oh, God, everybody have a drink again. There we go. Son of a gun. This is too easy.
So, yeah. If I actually believe that, and you have no other recourse to prove that I'm defrauding you, and you give me the money,
right? Because then there's complicit on your end as well, because you obviously believed in this enough to send them the money, to send them the items. So yeah, boy, that's got to be a tough one. How do you? That's religious persecution in a way, right? Because if you're telling me that my beliefs are wrong and that I wasn't picking up on negative energy, and now you're trying to, wow, that's a slippery ass slope. Holy cow.
People do things all the time through their beliefs. If someone is Catholic and they have somebody that dies, or they have somebody that's in trouble, they can go to church, light a candle, and pray, and that is an act. More than mere preparation. That is an act that they do because they believe it. Right. And that's what we're talking about. If somebody is truly believes that they're a medium and they're truly coming over to you and warning you about something, you choose to give them something for that. That's clean, man. That's laundered money. That's clean.
That's why I keep my belief systems very tight, right? I mean, I believe that children are our future. And if we treat them well and let them lead the way, show them all the beauty that they possess inside, give them a sense of pride. Yeah. I think that that's the steps that I believe in. And I don't know that I want to live in a world where anybody would deny me that sense.
Yep.
Yeah. I could be wrong. Oh, look at this. Bonsai Warrior, $55 donation.
What?
Feeling generous tonight because it's my birthday. Who else can say their birthday? 12/17 is on the first day of Saturnalia. Oh, and congrats to the owner of a hotel. Hey, that's me. I own a haunted hotel.
Here we go. All right.
It all. Well, Bonsai Warrior, thank you. Let us harmonize, gentlemen. Me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Bonsai Warrior. Happy birthday to you. And for an additional $45, making it $100, I'll never sing to you again. You're welcome.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, would that be considered fleecing? Is that intimidation?
Dave.
Ooh.
We have breaking news coming in right now, Dave.
Oh,
There's more breaking news?
This is literally just coming across as we speak here.
Okay.
Kelly Freeze, you probably know her, right? Former owner of the Palmer House Hotel.
Right.
Wow. She has recently been quoted after what appears to be a 2-day drinking binge.
Okay.
Pretty quick. She just said, wait, I sold what to who?
Oh.
She's a little concerned she may have made a mistake. But I just want to say this.
Yes.
Somewhere a ghost is probably asking, does this mean we now work for Dave? I'm going to keep an eye on this story as the show continues, though.
Incredible.
Thank you for keeping us updated.
Certainly.
On that. So the ghosts they weren't aware that they have to punch in and clock in and out with me. I don't understand.
It's news to them.
That's well, it's news to a lot of people. Actually, That's News to Me takes place at the end of tonight's show. We've got a great story in the news about that. Not about that, but a totally different story.
Do we have any emails that we can read?
No, because you hate when people write in emails.
Is Stevie Nicks going to be coming to the hotel?
I'm inviting her as we speak. I've sent many emails. Yeah, and with apologies, of course.
Now, you're going to be on the Jericho cruise later this year. Is that correct?
No, I will be on the Jericho cruise in 2026.
Oh, yeah, this year's almost over.
Yeah.
But Jericho also is the lead singer of a band.
Yes.
Is there a possibility he will be playing at the Palmer House?
There's always a possibility. Yeah. Yeah. Like if the boat runs aground in Sauk Center, Minnesota, where I don't know if I've mentioned I'm the owner of a haunted hotel.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, have a drink. Yeah. And he was stranded. I would let him perform at my establishment.
Would you give him a free room?
Oh, no, he's rich. He can afford a room.
Fair.
Yeah. All right. We've got our next story, and it's my turn to shine. Are you ready for this?
Look at that guy.
The strange strategy of alien abduction. And I love that the Dalai Lama is over the shoulder of the alien looking surprised by this. In what may be one of the more unusual intersections of geopolitics, UFO lore, and board games, a former Russian politician has once again made headlines with an extraordinary claim about extraterrestrial contact. The man at the center of the story is Kirsan Ilyamunuzanov, a well-known Russian businessman and politician who once served as president of the Republic of Kalmykia and for many years led the International Chess Federation. Now, Ilyamunuzanov has long been associated with with out of this world ideas. And now footage of him discussing his alleged alien encounter has gone viral on social media. Now, according to Ilyamunuzanov, in 1997, he was taken from his Moscow apartment by aliens, beings, he says, that he describes as human-like but peaceful. He claims they brought him aboard a spacecraft, communicated telepathically, and then revealed the Earth has hosted multiple ancient civilizations before humanity as we know it. But this is his most headline-grabbing assertion, and it's the strangest part of the story, believe it or not. The aliens who allegedly abducted him told him that they invented the game of chess, the same game that Ilyamunuzanov spent decades promoting around the world. So the chess legend's claims have been part of his personal narrative for years, but recent interviews and some viral clips, all right, have thrust this, and I say that thusly, thrust the story back into the spotlight. He describes the extraterrestrials as calm, yet curious, sharing broad messages about humanity and our place in the cosmos, and suggesting that the timeless game of chess was of cosmic origins, believe it or not. Skeptics and commentators have greeted the claims with a mix of disbelief, satire, and straight out ridicule. After all, this is a man who once mixed world politics with UFO lore and now links one of Earth's oldest strategic games to visitors from beyond the stars. So whether you see it as compelling testimony, cultural mythology, or maybe just another curious chapter in UFO history, the story of Kirsan Ilyamunuzanov stands as a vivid reminder that when it comes to alien encounters, the world's imagination still has plenty of room to roam. Now, do you think, I'm going to ask you, paranormal detective Greg Lawson, since you had Crime Watch going on. So if Ilya Ilyamunuzanov was a chess champion and legend, I'm going to guess there was money that he won at points, right, for being a chess champion. If it's proven then that he was abducted by aliens who, in fact, invented the game of chess, doesn't that give him a bit of an unfair an unfair advantage over his competitors? Shouldn't that be like, should he get an asterisk next to his name? So it's like, Jeter, McGuire, you get that little asterisk that they hit their home run specials, but they were pumped up on the juice.
Yeah,
You know, we can't. This guy, he may have been a chess champion, but he wasn't human-ish. He's an alien human hybrid who's been abducted numerous times. That seems like an unfair advantage that should have been announced up front.
Yeah, he's an asterisk guy.
Hey, watch your language, man. This is a family show. Good God, asterisk guy. All right, we're going to do this. We have to take a quick break.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're going to come back. We've got a lot more news to share
Oh,
now on your home for everything strange and supernatural. And you can trust me because I'm the owner of a haunted hotel.
Oh,
Drink up, everybody. We'll be back. We've got more to share right here on the Paranormal 60 News. You know, my darklings, December moves pretty fast. All the outings, the parties, the shopping, the travel, the did we actually wrap everything chaos? But once the noise dies down, there's always that one moment that I look forward to most. Slowing down, cozying up, and just being present with the people I love. And that's exactly why I keep going back to Cozy Earth. Their bamboo sheets, made from viscose from bamboo, are the best gift of better sleep I've ever given, and the best gift I've ever given myself. They're incredibly soft. They sleep cooler, and somehow they make crawling into bed feel like you're slipping into a luxury retreat. And if you've got someone on your list who desperately needs rest, or if that someone is you, this is the gift that says, take a breath. You deserve this. And then there's the bubble cuddle blanket. I've told you about this. If you want to give a gift that feels more like an experience than a product, like a hug that they can feel from you any time of year, this is the gift. It's got that plush textured feel, just the right weight, and it turns any couch or bed into the coziest corner of the house. Snuggling by the fire, movie nights, maybe even a quiet moment on the couch. This blanket makes all of it better. It's comfort that lingers long after the holidays end. Plus, you get a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty. Think about that. Try returning any other bedding after using it for 3 months. That just ain't gonna happen. Cozy Earth stands behind every stitch. So here's the deal. Now, through December 12th, head to CozyEarth.com and use my code P60 for up to 40% off. And order by the 12th for guaranteed Christmas delivery. Listening after that, don't worry, my darklings, the code still works and it's going to get you 20% off year-round. And if you get that post-purchase survey, make sure to mention you heard about Cozy Earth right here on the Paranormal 60. Again, CozyEarth.com. Use my code P60 for up to 40% off through December 12th, 20% off year-round. Give the gift of comfort that lasts beyond the holidays and carries you into a cozy new year.
Hello, Darklings and my fellow mind travelers. This is Mark Allen Lanu, the Gemini Mind. Come take a journey with me through this place we call life by picking up a copy of my book, Reality Was Once the Tapestry of the Dreamer. Available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon online. You can find the links also on my website, markallenlanu.com. Chock full of stories about organized crime, the paranormal, my music career, NASA, and more. So go pick up your copy, and you all rock. Indeed.
Did you know that radio just got a little extraterrestrial? That's right, Dave Schrader is back on radio with the Paranormal 360 every Sunday evening, 7 to 9 p.m. Central on WCCO AM 830, an Odyssey station. Just download the Odyssey app and look for the WCCO logo, follow the station, and listen live. That's the Paranormal 360 on WCCO AM 830, an Odyssey station.
Welcome back to the program. Thank you very much for joining me here. I'm Dave Schrader. This is the Paranormal 60 News. Joining me, my news correspondents, the guys I trust very little. They are here with us this evening to share the news, to share stories from around the world. Chachi, you are up next, my friend, and you've got an interesting story to take us to. What's going on in the world?
I do, but can I ask a couple questions first?
Sure.
Certainly. So number one, those Cozy Earth. Now, will those be available at said Palmer House?
I am actually talking to the people at Cozy Earth because We do, and this isn't meant just for the advertisement. We bought the sheets and blankets for our house, and they are amazing. So yes, I am trying to negotiate to get the bedding for the Palmer House. We're getting new mattresses, new beds, because as the owner of a haunted hotel, there we go. Everybody's gonna be drunk. This is not a good show. We're trying to make it comfortable, sweet, beautiful, new beds, new bedding, working on all of that. But don't wait to come to the Palmer House to get Cozy Earth. That bubble cuddle blanket, I am not kidding you, the best blanket I've ever owned in my life. I won't even let Winnie sleep near me because I just want to be encompassed in that blanket. I make her lay on the floor next to the bed so she can watch me cuddled in my blanket. She says she just loves to watch me be happy anyway. So I figured, that's good.
Now, do you put anything between you and the blanket, or is it skin on skin?
Skin on skin, baby. That's the best way. How else would I know it feels amazing? It's like spooning with Greg. I want to feel every part of that.
Feel it. Soft.
So soft.
And my second question, if you don't mind, a follow-up.
Sure.
Mark, one of our avid listeners, is a musician.
Yeah.
Will he be playing at the Palmer House?
It's funny that you brought that up because I haven't invited him yet. So you're kind of throwing me under the bus right now. But
I got a story to read.
Yeah, you've got a story to read.
Let me get to the story.
But let me say this. Mark Lanou gives us $10. Alien Chess, is that like Wizard's Chess? Down payment towards chess lessons. Yes, Mark Lanou. I'd love to have Mark come on out. As a matter of fact, he said he wants to come to the Palmer House and see it, and maybe we can get him to play. But I also want to make a quick mention for the audience really quickly. I am in negotiation with the other members of the Paranormal 60 news crew, and it looks like this summer you can come to the first ever Paranormal 60 news crew event and investigation at the Palmer House Hotel. And that's going to take place this summer once we've hammered out the dates, the logistics, and if I can get enough liquor to satisfy the Paranormal 60 news crew.
And I
can we at least get a discount on the rate?
We'll talk.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna donate a guitar because last time I was up there, that guitar that was in the bar was
I'll be keeping my Bruce Springsteen signed guitar behind plexiglass so I don't see a drunk Greg. I'm gonna just play this one, pull it off the wall, and be strumming it and spitting and wiping the signature off of the guitar.
I think between myself and Mark, we should be able to get a.
What we need to do? We need to get Blind Dog
and Blind Dog
and get Blind Dog to perform all of the great songs. You know what? As a matter of fact, Blind Dog, if you're listening, then I would like to invite you to be part of that Paranormal 60 news crew weekend.
Oh, that'd be great.
And maybe on the opening night, we will have Greg and Blind Dog perform some of their biggest hits from the Paranormal 60.
We can do it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right.
I only ask one thing.
What's that?
Oh boy.
Can you have the set list?
I want the set list, but give everybody plenty of time so they can save up for an incredible weekend.
Yeah. Well, we'll know soon. We'll know soon. But right now in May, I'll be there with Shane and Cindy, and we're going to be doing a Paranormal Mysteries weekend at the Palmer House, the new haunted hotel I own. And have a drink. Have a drink. So I will be doing that event. We've got the Tennessee Wraith Chasers are coming to town. Ghost Stories Inc. has an event the second weekend. I've been talking to Amy Bruni. I've been talking to some of our other friends in the paranormal field, and we're looking for dates. We're hoping to get a bunch of our friends from the paranormal to come on out, spend some time. And I've also got some other really cool things in the works. But I digress. You have a story to share. Let's get to it, Chachi.
21 rooms. Is that correct?
21 rooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many can we fit to a room?
So many.
Because we have a lot more than 21 listeners.
I know that. We also have other local hotels that are great in the town of Sauk Center, Minnesota.
Look at you. You're becoming like a man of the people, or the people of the man, or something.
I like to think of myself that way as it is. Yeah.
Listen, this has been a big commercial. Probably one of the longer infomercials I've heard. So let's jump into an actual story here, Dave. How's that sound?
All right. That's fine.
Listen, I do not own a paranormal hotel, but I do have a story about a ghost ship sighting. I don't know if you guys heard about this.
I did, but what
very strange and unsettling sight along the Pacific Northwest coastline this week has reignited one of humanity's oldest fears. the idea of a vessel with no one aboard, yet still moving with purpose. Earlier this week, cameras operated by the Washington State Department of Transportation, or DOT, captured footage of what appears to be a large, uncrewed boat drifting silently through the harbor near Muckle Knuckle Toes.
What?
Jesus.
Muckle Toes. I'm pretty sure that's the word. For those of you that live in the Pacific Northwest, if you could help me, Mukilteo, Muckle Knuckle Huckle Toe. It's just yards from an active ferry terminal. So that seems a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Problem was, there was no crew visible, no distress signals were reported, and no one has publicly claimed ownership of the vessel. So the boat, estimated to be about 100 feet long, glided through the water without striking docks or other ships.
That's
They had
weird.
slow, deliberate movement, unsettling both the witnesses on the shore and the viewers who were watching this online. The footage was later shared publicly, and almost immediately, social media lit up with a familiar name for the phenomenon. Anyone want to guess what it is?
Flying Dutchman.
Ghost ship, Dave. A ghost ship.
Well, that's what the Flying Dutchman is. Yeah.
In some corners of the world, yes. Maritime folklore is filled with stories of phantom vessels. Ships said to sail without crews, appearing suddenly through fog or darkness, then vanishing just as quietly. While officials have not suggested anything supernatural is at play, they have also acknowledged that the vessel's origin and circumstances remain unclear. Now, authorities have said investigations are ongoing to determine where the boat came from, how long it had been adrift, and why it appeared to be unmanned in such a busy harbor. For now, explanations range from mechanical failure to just pure out abandonment. But for many who watch the footage, the silence of the ship, its steady motion, and its lack of visible life struck a far more primal nerve. Because there's something about a vehicle designed for people that arrives without them that still unsettles us in a way technology and logic haven't quite erased. A modern mystery with very, very old roots, Dave.
Very weird. A ghost ship. Now, Greg, you actually worked with the Coast Guard, correct?
I have worked with the Coast Guard, yes.
So
think about that.
The concept of ghost ships, this isn't so far-fetched, right? I mean, it's hard to believe that there are just unmanned ships, some of them 30, 40, 50 years old, that are still just surviving on the ocean without any people on it. Is that real?
It's real. Yeah. When I was in the South Pacific on Nimitz twice, we were just out in the middle of absolutely thousands of miles from anywhere. And there's a sailboat just floating along, and they would, either send a boat or a helicopter over with swimmers, and nobody's on the boat. In one case, there was blood on the boat. And so they just collect up everything. And because it's a hazard to navigation, guess what they do with it? Blow it out of the water.
Blow it out. Yeah.
Yeah, blow it out of the water.
Wow. So, well, on a sailboat, to me, that's like, okay, that's one thing. Because I've watched enough movies to know how easy it is to get knocked over by the mizzen mast or the jig line.
Are you fishing? Those sound like fishing terms.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I've seen it knock people off boats all the time. So to me, that's not such a big surprise. But there are large vessels, because there was a report probably probably 10, 12 years ago of a large ancient craft just floating out there that they've caught on video and photographs. They estimated at that time, I think, that the ship was over 100 years old. How is it that it hasn't been destroyed by the swells and the crazy storms and isn't sighted more often? There's constant traffic on the ocean crossing.
Yeah, the ocean is real big. And
thank you. That's quite the insight, Craig. The ocean is big.
And imagine how much it costs to cross the ocean. It's going to be pretty serious that you're going to change direction to go look at something. And, you see a ship out there, it's typically far enough away to where there's another ship out there, and you think it's cruising and going someplace as well. So you don't pay any attention to it. You have to come pretty close to it to really look at it. And Yeah, and for it to get your attention. If it's not a hazard in navigation, you're just going to go right by it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, man. It's people don't realize how, I mean, I think people do realize how big the ocean is, but it's, there's to actually find something out there is really difficult. So if you're not even looking for it and it's just floating around out there, it's
Well,
benign.
I was on one of the Jericho cruises, and it was very windy, very rocky. One of the life preservers blew over, and I watched it from one of the top decks. And I watched it, and as it approached the water, like I couldn't see it anymore. A life
Yeah.
preserver, it hit the water. You'd think, oh well, it's a big white ring. I'm going to notice it down there. Holy cow,
Right.
man! It's gone.
Yeah. Yep.
Good insight, Greg. Thanks.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. It's
Yeah.
hard to find stuff.
Yeah, that is very, very hard to find stuff. Mark Lanou says we know more about Mars than the deepest depths of our
That's
oceans.
right.
What is that deepest part called? Is that the Mariana Trench?
Yep.
Is that the deepest part of the ocean? How do we know how deep it is? If
Well, we
nothing
have
can
this-
survive going down there.
Yeah, we have this thing called the United States Navy, and they're very interested in finding, or were very interested in finding Soviet submarines. So
Greg, you're just making stuff up. That's
They just
Donald Duck.
don't.
That's cartoon stuff. I don't think that is a real thing.
No, we have a Navy, Dave. We do.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. I've heard of it.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
you heard about it in the Village People song, but have you actually seen Navy?
Seen. That's a good point. No,
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
their
I've seen a
song.
football team called the Navy, but I've also seen a football team called the Commanders, and I don't feel like they're commanding much of anything.
wow.
And I'm not even sure what Green Bay is packing, if I'm being honest with you.
Speaking of packing, something's going on.
What is? Oh,
I don't know.
you got. Oh,
Another one?
you're breaking the news right here, Greg.
Dude, something yeah. Apparently, I
Okay.
don't know if y'all have heard this, but this is just in. Much loved paranormal cultural icon and celebrity known as the humble yet adorable paranormal unofficial mayor of the paranormal community, Dave Schrader, is still the owner of the historic and notoriously haunted Palmer Hotel. That's what I'm getting right now, Dave.
I'd like to, Chachi, can you get my attorney on the phone? I'd like to sue whoever chose this picture because I look like a Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
Is that really you?
That is.
Well, apparently the Palmer Hotel is not just a Palmer Hotel. It's a restaurant, a pub, and it's located in Sauk Center, Minnesota.
It is.
Yeah, it's official again. Yeah. Okay. So somehow, in case you've missed it earlier, legendary radio host, television personality, author, world traveler, speaker, paranormal icon, humanitarian, charity supporter, healer, prayer warrior, and clearly unstoppable force of the supernatural, Dave Schrader has added to his huge resume, owner of Minnesota's most haunted hotel. You know him as the host of the Paranormal 60. I think we know him as the host of the Paranormal 360 radio shows and podcasts, the star of the hit TV show Paranormal series, Paranormal Challenge, Holzer Files, Ghost of Devil's Perch, Paranormal Mysteries, familiar face on Paranormal State, Ghost Adventures, Screaming Room, Aftershocks, Ghost Adventures Live, Haunted Hospitals, and basically any show brave enough to let him near a haunted building. This man has brought together so many people. He's officially known as the Kevin Bacon of the paranormal. The Palmer House, if you don't know this, is a 125-year-old landmark. It's listed in the National Registry of Historic Places, and it's going to be continuing operating as it always has, a hotel, restaurant, and pub with no gimmicks, no nonsense, just history, hospitality, and a whole lot of unexplained activity. The big additions, paranormal tours, live events, music, metaphysical gatherings, investigations, and opportunities for serious paranormal research, all while preserving the integrity of the building that has been spooking guests for more than, I believe, a century. So the news is still breaking, y'all. Dave Schrader still owns the Palmer House.
Not
And
that Dave
somehow-
Schrader.
and somehow the place has not fallen down yet. For updates, events, and anything happening inside one of Minnesota's most haunted locations, follow the Palmer House on Facebook and visit thepalmerhousehotel.com. You're welcome, world. You're welcome.
You really bring the stories, Greg. Wow. Hey, did you know Dave got a cool hotel? That's what Sarah Shaw says.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know that, but I own a haunted hotel now. So the new game that Chachi announced at the beginning is that every time I mention a haunted hotel, that I'm the owner of a haunted hotel, everybody's supposed to have a drink. So you can send your doctor bills directly to Chachi for the liver refreshment that you're going to need. Bonsai Warrior asks, is Greg and Chachi on the Palmer House payroll?
I do clean rooms. That's true.
Yeah, he cleans them.
You do clean rooms? You need
to
work a comma in there somewhere.
I do clean rooms.
Are you saying?
Are
you saying?
I do clean rooms.
Punctuation is important. I agree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a comma. It's
Exciting
also known
stuff.
as the Oxford comma.
Oh my God. All right. We got to take another quick break. We'll be right back with more right after this. A new year is rapidly approaching, which means it's time to stop letting last year's chaos rent space in your head and in your heart. This is the season of new everything. New life, new love, new confidence, new jobs, and new chances to finally become the best version of you that you've dreamt of. And the universe? Well, it's practically standing on your lawn with a giant cosmic boombox blasting messages meant just for you. You just need the right conduit. And that's where Love and Lotus Tarot with Winnie Schrader comes in. Winnie doesn't just read cards. She translates destiny. He helps you see the opportunities lining up, the patterns trying to repeat, and the new beginnings that are already forming behind the scenes. Right on the heels of New Year comes Valentine's Day, which means love is in the air, or at least it should be. And if your love life has been more like a blue screen of death error, romance not found, don't panic, my friends. The universe is already trying to nudge you in the right direction. The cards are ready to be shuffled, your story is ready to turn the next page, and your next beginning is closer than you think. Book your reading now, or better yet, buy a reading for a friend. Visit lovelotustarot.com and start the year the way it deserves, with clarity, confidence, and maybe even finding the love that you deserve. That's lovelotustarot.com. Your destiny awaits. You know, the holidays aren't all joy and jingles. Behind the festive lights lies a shadowy history, and Jeff Belanger's Surviving Krampus and Other Yuletide Monsters, The Fright Before Christmas, is here to unwrap the history for you. This isn't your typical Christmas story. It's a fun, fascinating, and sometimes frightening deep dive into the forgotten folklore of the season. A world where Krampus isn't just a pop culture icon, but a devilish enforcer, ready to snatch naughty children. Where trolls, witches, and the Yule Cat stalk the snowy landscapes, and St. Nicholas's heavy-handed helpers bring more punishment than presents. Explore folklore from across the globe, from the elf-like Tomten to the terrifying Grilla, who drags the misbehaved to her mountain lair. Discover why the winter solstice, the darkest time of year, has always been a season to fear. Whether you're curling up by the fire or walking alone on a cold winter's night, The Fright Before Christmas will have you questioning every shadow. It's available in hardcover, audiobook, and CD, perfect for gifting to your favorite spooky season lover. So this holiday season, add a little more fright to your festive nights. Grab your copy of The Fright Before Christmas, available wherever you buy your favorite books, because nothing says Merry Christmas like a Yule Cat ready to pounce.
Jesus.
Yeah, welcome back to the program. I'm Dave. That's Greg. That's Chachi. We've got all the news you need to know. And you can find us here Wednesdays. We've got the Paranormal 60 News and the Paranormal 60 News crew. I do want to make a quick mention. We are a man down this week. The Colonel is under the weather, even though the photograph you're looking at looks like a man beaming in good health. He is feeling pretty ill. He's got a pretty nasty cold going. and had to beg out of tonight's show, but he wanted me to let everybody know that he's thinking of you, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to all. I mentioned that because there will be no Paranormal 60 news next Wednesday since it is Christmas Eve.
Really?
That's surprising.
Did you want to do it on Christmas Eve?
Well, we could pre-record or something. So I know everybody's
pre-record.
going to want to be there, right?
Except for the three of us, because we're going to.
Let's send it to a vote.
Yeah, let's. We'll have the audience check it out. If you want to be here live with the Paranormal 60 news crew on a pre-recorded show next Wednesday night, let us know in the chat, and we will see what we can do for you there. All right, we've got this segment that I've introduced to the show. Greg, he's introduced a new segment, right, with the Crime Watch from the Paranormal Detective. We've got That's News to Me. Now, these are news stories that dealt with the paranormal that I'm not familiar with, but I guess have been around for a long time. So I figure if me, the unofficial mayor of the paranormal world, wasn't familiar with this story, it's about time I kick it back to the front and let people know about this. And tonight's story is Littlefoot fossil may open new discussions on evolution.
Oh, yeah. Look at that guy.
That's not me, by the way, just in case you were wondering. Neither of those heads you see on the photograph are mine. Scientists are taking another hard look at one of the most famous fossil discoveries in human history. And what they're finding may point to something entirely unexpected. The fossil, known as Littlefoot, one of the most complete early human skeletons ever uncovered, may not belong to any known species of ancient human at all. Researchers now believe it could represent a previously unknown branch of our evolutionary family tree, a type of early human ancestor that science hasn't officially identified yet. Littlefoot was discovered deep inside South Africa's Sterkfontein cave system and dates back nearly 4 million years ago.
Whoa.
For decades, it's been classified alongside known Australopithecus species, distant cousins of modern humans. But new analysis of the skeleton's anatomy suggests something doesn't quite fit. You see, according to the researchers, Littlefoot's skeletal structure shows a unique mix of traits. Those are features that don't match any recognized species. The differences are significant enough that scientists now believe this individual may belong to a lost or unclassified species of hominin. They lived alongside other early human ancestors and then just vanished. Or have they? And this is where things get interesting, because if multiple early human species were walking the same landscapes at the same time, it raises a fascinating question. How many human-like beings once shared the planet with us? And more intriguingly, could some ancient encounters, misidentifications, or legends have roots deeper in prehistory than even we realize? Now, this doesn't mean that Littlefoot is necessarily a cryptid creature, but it does remind us that the human story is far messier, stranger, and more crowded than we once believed. The fossil record isn't a straight line. It's a branching maze filled with relatives who came and went long before history even began. And sometimes the most unsettling discoveries aren't about monsters in the woods. They're about realizing we may not have always been alone, just like we are not alone at this point in our history. I'm always curious, though, on this. And Chachi, I know you watch a lot of documentaries, science documentaries and such. When we find one-off that doesn't really match any other known species because of the way that it looks, maybe the way it's formed, especially if we go back further in time, there were less beings. So there had to be a lot more inbreeding of species, right? So could it just be that this is not a new species, but just a malformed or deformed version of one of the known species? Because obviously at 4 million years old, it's a fossil, means it's a rock. There's nothing there to dig out, right? There's nothing DNA wise that they're able to pull, at least that I know of. I mean, here we thought that was impossible, but they're finding fossils now with dinosaur skin on it, which means one of two things. Dinosaurs aren't that far removed from us as we once thought, or our understanding of how things fossilized may not be as true to science form as we once believed. But why do you think like Gigantopithecus, which they think may be the connected being that is Bigfoot in our current lexicon, they've only found, I think, like one part of one skull to give this thing its own identity and its own subcategory. But that seems weird to me that you only have one thing of one being and it gets its own. Oh, this is obviously an offshoot, and we've never found any other beings. They're digging in the same regions. What do you think? Do you think that they're maybe just hoping that this is a new unidentified species so that they can keep getting grants for their scientific research? Or do you think that these are beings that are maybe just malformed through time and history?
I believe the latter. I believe is the malformation through history. If you think about dig up people from 100 years ago, right, you're going to find people that look different from one another. And to your point about the grants, it sounds like a joke, but at the same time, that's what keeps grants going, right? You found something very unique. There's only one of them. And the story you tell in your business case that you put together, it explains why we need $10 million more to do it again this year. And so sadly, that could be part of it as well. But I believe it's not a different species.
Anthropologists taking just one piece of a jawbone and creating a whole, humanoid out of it and saying, this was whoever. They're trying to keep an open mind, I think. And I think there's enough evidence out there that humans interbred with a lot of different human-like creatures, being that I am 3% Neanderthal.
Just 3?
Yeah, I think the number's higher. I think it
could be. I might have a protruding orbital ridge here pretty good.
You do, and your knuckles are always raw from dragging them.
Not really.
And your color is seldom
human. Yeah, it's very purpley.
Yeah, I have good blood flow.
Do you claim to have been a co-creator of chess?
No, I didn't do that, but I do have O negative blood. So
there is that.
Yeah, I have physical evidence that there could be something going on.
I think it's fascinating too that now they're even re-examining. I mean, look, dinosaurs have been around. We've really been studying them pretty intently for a little over 170 years and identifying them. And now they're starting to realize that things like the T-Rex and the small arms that it has may not actually, in fact, be arms. Because if you look at some birds of prey, the way the body is shaped and the wing structure, many of the smaller birds of prey have that same small arm span that the wings would have spread out, but the claws and what you're enabling it would have been totally a different structure. So they're thinking that these are much more bird-like than they are anything else. So,
well, I know if I had to fight with other dinosaurs, I wouldn't want arms sticking out there, because they're biting at you and stuff. So I would shrink up my arms where I'm just biting like that, and they wouldn't be able to bite me.
Yeah. And then like when they do come in close and you just slap them around with those little malformed arms, it's got to be embarrassing for the other dinos, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong again. It's been known to happen on time to time.
T-Rex.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. In the picture that they're showing, some people are saying this looks like it's something right out of like a Spirit Halloween shop, but I would guess that the skull has completely calcified or turned to stone by this time, right? The full fossilization of something 4 million years is going to look more like a statue than it will look like a skull.
Yeah, and you were saying, these fossils that they're finding that have some skin on them and that sort of thing. Well, when something fossilizes, it doesn't happen immediately. It happens over time because the fossil is actually the lime stone that's going in there and filling in where everything else is rotting. And so it doesn't rot all at the same time. So it'd be different parts. And if we could find that during the process, however long that takes, that would make sense that we would find part of that. But no, man.
Yeah.
The teeth
is a screwy thing, right? We're always trying to push boundaries. And I think what's kind of ridiculous is it's okay for new exploration because, so many people are afraid to let go of what they've been talking about because it's going to seem like their work is irrelevant. It wasn't. It was relevant for the time, for the knowledge we had. What makes science so exciting is that there's continual upgrades and it's always evolving. So people shouldn't be punished that have theorized and written papers on certain subjects and feel like their life's work was nothing because that life's work may have been what inspired the next series of scientists to go out and push the boundaries further to get more answers. And then they're finding these answers. And we just have to look at this as a scientific continuation community, not defining any one thing in one specific segment.
And it's funny because oftentimes the scientists are the most vicious amongst each other. The guy that came up with the tectonic plates idea was just absolutely destroyed by his contemporaries. And then he dies, and a few years later, there's continental drift. There's all this stuff. This guy was right the whole time, and he died, feeling probably like a fool because they just destroyed him, ran him out of business.
The guy that found out that ulcers are actually created by bacteria. And he went to the forums and talked in front of the medical community, and they laughed him off the stage. They mocked him. They ridiculed him. I believe, if I remember correctly, he kind of backed out of the medical community altogether only years later to find out that he was right. It was something that could be treated with antibiotics. So, we have to give some length of rope to science to continue to push their journey, right? We're finding out more and more about death and life all the time. And what does it mean to die? And I think there's still so much we're missing. And it's only because people are being so repugnant to one another when they come up with a new theory that doesn't fit their paradigm for fear that they're going to lose their funding. So what? Piggyback off it. If I say this is this, and this is one-off being, and Greg says, that's an interesting take on it. Now I'm going to push science to go further this way and examine the bones in this way and start doing different measurements. And then he finds that this is actually proven that my theory is wrong. That gives me a reason to continue pushing to try to understand, okay, well then what you found, what can we learn from that? And that's how it should work, right? Is that it's a continuation. Yeah. Science is a screwy thing. The world is a screwy thing.
People are the screwy thing.
Yeah, people are the screwy things. Chachi, great seeing you back, buddy. I'm glad you were here with us. Paranormal Detective Greg Lawson, author of many books. As a matter of fact, if you're looking for last-minute Christmas gift items and you'd like to find the perfect stocking stuffer, how about How to Be a Paranormal Detective or Diaries of a Paranormalist, Encounters with Death? How about Messages from Mothman? Or the book Detecting Paranormal. Maybe you're more a UFO person. Roswell, the After Action Report with a foreword by Dave Schrader. Those books are all out and available, and you can find them on Amazon and wherever you buy your favorite books. So those would be great little gift items, to throw under the tree, to throw in a stocking. Maybe buy a bunch so that when Halloween rolls around, you can just stick them into kids' pumpkins, they're candy pumpkins. So while they're eating all the candy, they have something good to read and they're educating their brain.
There you go. Or you could just buy a bunch of them and on your travels, just leave them at the hotels, the hotel library.
That's a great point. I don't know if you guys know this, but I own a haunted hotel.
Oh, wow.
And got it in just in time.
Just in time. Again, thank you all. I am now the owner of the Palmer House Hotel in Sauk Center, Minnesota. It is historic. It is haunted. It is an amazing location, and I would love for you to come out and visit me and my family and the family of the Palmer House, both living and not so living. We would love to have you come out there. It is not just a haunted Mecca. It is also a comfortable, beautiful, homey environment, and we have food, we have drink, we have fun, and we would love to see you come out there. And right now, special deal, book your rooms right now between now and January 15th. And if you book for a Friday, Saturday, I'll give you a free Thursday night stay. So when you book, you call in on the number, you say, Dave, whoever answers the phone, whichever one of my worker bees is there, all you have to do is say, hey, Dave, or whoever, I heard about the deal. I would like to book for this Friday and Saturday. and I'm supposed to get the Thursday night. We would love to have you out there for that. So please come on out, check it out. Go check out the website. As a matter of fact, we have a link for it on today's program guide. And for all of you that have been writing to me on social media and to my emails and to the Paranormal 60, thank you so much for the lovely words of encouragement. Guys, I can't even tell you how touched I am by how many people have said, of everybody I know, you're the guy. You're the one that should have had the Palmer House, and I can't wait to come visit you there. That Kelly and the employees have said this to me. Former workers and friends have that's really, it means a lot to me, because it means, there is more to this. It wasn't just a fluke that I'm here. And I mentioned, I don't know if you got the chance to watch a show on Monday, Chachi, but I did mention that you were the one that kept calming the boats when I would be upset about other haunted locations I was trying to buy that kept falling through, like the Conjuring House. I wasn't trying to buy the Conjuring House. I was still mad about not winning the Ed and Lorraine Warren house, that I wouldn't even try to buy the Conjuring House. But no, every time I tried to buy a place, it didn't work out. Chachi kept telling me, dude, maybe this is just the universe saying, wait, the right thing is coming your way. And he was right. It came my way. So, Chach, thanks for keeping me even keel. Thanks for being a part of that. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the Palmer House this summer for our very first Paranormal 60 News Crew expedition and fun weekend. So thank you for being a part of this. Greg, Paranormal Detective, thank you. And we'll look forward to talking to you next week on the program as well. I have a lot of great people in my world and that encompass me and are there to support me. And I've gotten nothing but compliments and comments. Even my buddy Zach from Ghost Adventures heard about it today and wrote to me very nice messages. And thank you all. Tonight, we learned a few important things. 1, ghost ships are apparently still a thing. 2, human evolution may be way messier than anyone has ever really expected, right? 3, aliens might be responsible for chess, which, when you think about it, really explains a lot. And 4, if someone tells you your jewelry, your car, your home is cursed and demands money to fix it, walk away. Take a few deep breaths. Think about it. Talk to some friends and do it quickly. But of course, the biggest story of all, paranormal icon, broadcaster, TV personality, world-traveling speaker, and now when you thought you knew everything about him, he became more legendy. Yeah, that's the word, legendy. Dave Schrader has officially added historic haunted hotel steward to his already exceptional resume. That's right. While the rest of us are trying to explain ghosts, Dave went ahead and bought one of their favorite places to hang out and has decided that he has reached a status where he can officially refer to himself in third person. So if the paranormal world feels just a little unsettled tonight, it might be because the spirits just realized who their new landlord is. So for Chachi, Greg Lawson, the paranormal detective, and the legend, the legendy Dave Schrader, remember, the stories are real, the world is strange, and sometimes the haunting doesn't follow you home. Sometimes you buy it. This has been the only news you need to know. This was the Paranormal 60.